All right. How are you? So now let's start with what you did. Now, question number one was not attempted at all. You did not attempt question number one, so that's zero. But let's just go through what question number one was supposed to be. Okay. So question number one was on you have like you're supposed to do this, leaving your answer in standard form. You're not expected to use a calculator. So naturally, I would still suggest that you use a calculator to know where the final answer is supposed to be. So that way you'll be able to solve. So what you do is you are supposed to convert it to fraction. So like that 0.6 becomes 6/10 times 32. Then this one becomes 4/1000. So that is what you're just basically going to do, and so that will be easier for you to do. But then you should press a calculator to know what the answer is supposed to be. So I expect you to at least attempt this number one. So that one is zero. Then this one, we didn't do much on this, so we didn't do anything on this. But all right, it's understandable if you don't do number one. Then let's check the other things that you did. So number two. Okay, let's see. So your second question was on salt. Actually, you would have gotten this salt correctly. The only problem was that you made a mistake here, and your mistake is you forgot to find the square root of 4. That's what you did. You forgot to find, because this one was correct, 9 times 12. So when 12 becomes 4 times 3, what is the square root of 4? That should be 2. So by the time you multiply 2 by 3, you should get 6. So here should have been 6, not 2. So that was the error. But I gave you 1 mark for the methodology. So that's just that. Just have to be more careful about how you solve your question. Try to be very accurate. Be more intentional in what you're solving. Now, number 2B was perfectly correct. So I gave you 3 marks for that. Then 3A. It was a bit tricky. Let me try to display the question so 3A was a simultaneous equation. Okay. 3A was simultaneous equation, but it was given in terms of fraction. So what you were supposed to do is you just turn it to remove the fraction. So represent 1/x with, let's say, P, and represent 1/y with Q, and you are good to go. So that's what you should have done, and I believe you will be able to solve it from there. So that's what I wrote here. Represent 1/x equals to P and 1/y equals to Q. So you now have P plus Q equals to 5, then you solve it from there. Okay, that is that for number 3. 3B, okay, let's see what 3B is. Okay, 3B. Okay. So the 3B says that a man drives from Ibadan to Oyo, a distance of 48 kilometers in 45 minutes. If he drives at 72 kilometers per hour where the road is good and 48 kilometers where it is bad, find the number of kilometers of good surface. So it's not something spectacular, not something. What you should have done is at least first thing first, you always write the formula. So you write down the parameters you're giving. The distance, a distance of the total distance is 48 kilometers, and the total time is 45 minutes. So you are going to find an expression for the distance in the good part. So we know that our speed is distance over time. So you find distance. So since they have given us the distance, they have given us the speed. Okay. Just get an expression for the distance. Do it the same thing for the 48 kilometers. Find an expression for the distance and equate it to 48 kilometers. So that's just it. It's not something that is spectacular. Or better still, when we see, we can do the correction on that. So it's tough. All right. So the next question says that this one I expect to get this because we actually did this a lot. So they said you should let me see the question. It says you should find the area of the find the area of the shaded section. So this is the area of a segment, and the area of a segment equals to area of a sector minus area of a triangle. What you did, you actually wrote the correct expression, but you didn't put you didn't subtract the area of a triangle. So you only reckon with area of a sector, which is wrong. So that was the problem with this. You were supposed to do area of a sector minus area of a triangle. You only did the area of a sector. You didn't subtract. You didn't find the area of a triangle. I gave you 1 mark. I could have given you more, but I expect you to be able to get this since we have done this. Now, for the last question in this part, which is number 5. Okay, so you said a building contractor tendered 2 independent contract, X and Y. The probability that you win the contract is 0.5, and the probability that you not win Y is 0.3. What's the probability that you will win both contracts? So the idea is you have to find the probability that you will win X. So if the probability that I win X is 0.5, fine. The probability that I will not win X also will be 0.5, since sum of probability sum up to 1. I saw that you did that correctly. So the probability that I will not win contract Y is 0.3. So that means the probability that you will win the contract is 0.7. I saw that you also did that correctly. So they now said, what will be the probability that I will win both contracts? So let's see, you got that correctly. So to win both contracts, that will be probability that I will win and probability you will win X and the probability that I will win Y. So that is multiplication. You did this correctly, and that is 0.5 multiplied by 0.7. You are correct. But the other part, I saw that you were struggling down. So they said exactly one of the contract. So to have exactly one of the contract is either you win contract X or you win contract Y. So what you are supposed to do is just addition. Either he wins X or he wins Y. So it will be 0.5 plus 0.7. You could have gotten that easily. So the third one says neither of the contracts. So that means the probability that he will not win the first one and he will not win the second one. So when we use and, you multiply. So what is the probability that he will not win the first one? That is 0.5. And what is the probability that he will not win the second one? 0.3. So you multiply 0.5 by 0.3 and you would have gotten your 5 mark correctly there. But at least you were able to interpret the first one, but you didn't get the others. Actually, that is my mistake. You actually got the second one. Okay. I'm going to add 1 more mark. That's an error. I didn't see it. Okay, it's only the number 2 that you didn't get. Oh, this is correct. So it's 5. So it's 6, not 5. But let's just move on with that. Now, for the second part, for your graph, I actually saw the graph when you did it. It was perfect. But you didn't get that. I was the one that actually put in a little on that 0.25. So I'm not going to give the total 15 marks. So I'm giving 13 for that. Okay. So that is it was okay for the graph. That is number 7. Let's see. Number 7. That's for number 7. Your graph, it was okay. It's just that's part of 2C. I actually told you what to do, so that's why I'm not giving the mark for that one. All right. Okay, let's continue from there. So number 10, we were given an expression that you should just do this. Okay, you are given an expression that you should solve this, and you solve this correctly, showing your quadratic equation is on point. So x equals to -1, x equals to 6 is correct. Now again, this same question that was asked in the first part is the same one. You were asked to find area of a segment, but this time around it was 2 segments. Let's say this is it here. Now that would be number 10. Yes, number 10 question. This particular question. What you were doing is just you were supposed to find area of a segment, which area of a sector minus area of a triangle. In this one, you actually find the area of a sector, but that area of a triangle, the formula is wrong. I don't know why you're missing that. Area of a triangle is half AB sine theta. Your A and B is your radius. So you've gotten the area of a segment here, it is correct. But what about the area of a triangle? The area of a triangle is 1/2 AB sine theta. So once you do that, you subtract them from each other and you are good to go. And because you have 2 segments, you multiply them by 2. That's all. So you could have gotten higher marks here, but because you calculated the area of a sector, I'm giving half the mark, but that's not the full process. Now, for your number, this will be your statistics. Let's see. That's number let's say for statistics, that would be statistics is that would be number. I think number 11. Very good. So for your statistics is okay. You were able to find the median. Sorry, the mean. The mean was perfectly correct, which is 4. But your mean deviation is a bit fault. From the table, you can actually get you have actually done it correctly. You've done your mean deviation absolutely correct, but your formula is wrong. You're supposed to be you are not supposed to square in mean deviation. There's nothing to square. What you're supposed to do is multiply the frequency by that x minus by x, and then you sum it together and divide by total frequency. That's all. So this one was wrong. You shouldn't have done this square. This square was not needed. It should have been x minus bar x over summation f. So this is where the error comes in. The square that you put here, that was the error. It should have just been x minus bar x over summation f. So that is where you didn't get it. Then for the probability question, you got that. I'm proud of you for that. For number 12B, which is on bearing, I knew you could do bearing correctly. So for the distance, it was correct. But for your angle, the process was correct, but the final answer was wrong. Okay? The answer was wrong. The way you approached it was wrong. Okay? So they said the bearing of R from Q. Okay? The bearing of R from Q. So I think you made a mistake around this solving. So if I'm going to do the bearing of R from Q, so this over this, that is 22.6 over sine 45 is equals to 24 over sine x. Okay, sine theta. Okay, so actually you actually got this correctly, but when you are interpreting the bearing, that's where your error came from. Okay, so I guess you're good to go on this. Then number 9. I would have gotten an easy mark if you're number 9. This question, let's see, number 9. This particular question, number 9, let's see. This particular question. But you forgot these 4 people outside. You didn't add them. That's why you don't get it. You added everybody. Quite all right. This method is correct. But you forgot to add these 4 people. So because you didn't add these 4 people, that is why you didn't get your correct answer. So next time, please be careful. Open your eyes to the question. Don't make mistakes. So overall, I gave 53%. Other than the 1 mark that I didn't add. Even if I added 1 mark, maximum you're going to get like 54%. So I believe you can do better. Okay, the ones you're doing now, I want you to do better. Most likely, I feel some of the questions you missed some of them was due to not looking carefully. Some I know you didn't even know they're quite all right, so it's fine. But my advice is anyone you're going to do, please be careful. Make sure you do them very well. And there are some that I don't expect you to be missing, like that segment. We did segments several times, so you shouldn't miss that. But I believe we can do better than this. By the time we practice like maybe 5 more years or 6 more years, I guess we'll get to where we want to be. All right, so please do the one for 2010. I will see where we go from there. Good night.